We welcome you live to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Sunny skies as 37 cars are set to rumble. It's the ARCA APCO EasyCare 300 coming up next.
Thanks, Ned.
It's stop number 2 on the 22 race, $2.5 million ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde Tour, and it brings you to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the APCO EasyCare 300. It is a beautiful day here in Hampton, Georgia. Couldn't ask for better competition. 37 cars are lined up for what should be a sprint race. Bill Weber, this should be a barn burner.
Jerry, this should be a very exciting race, especially from the time they drop the green flag. On the pole is Jeffersonville, Indiana's Frank Kimmel. It's his third career ARCA pole, but his first ever on a super speedway. Today, he will take this field and his car to the green flag. But right next to him is what makes this story so exciting. It's Tim Steele. He's won just about everything, and he's trying to hit the Georgia lottery this weekend. But right now, he sits outside the front row. He's got 18 career wins and 10 pole positions, but today he starts outside the front row. He had a hard crash in Daytona at the beginning of the season in February. A very wicked lick. Had some rib damage. A year ago when he came here, he won this race with kidney stones. Today, he sits in his car waiting for the motor to fire. We'll lean in here. Tim Steele, how are you going to fare today? You battled back from an injury at Daytona.
Oh, man, the injury was nothing, you know. I got beat up worse than that motocross racing, and, you know, the ribs, everything's fine. Got to say hi to my wife and daughter, Kelsey. Love you both. We'll see you tonight.
Okay, he's extremely confident in his crew, his car, and his engine. He'd never had engine problems before until he got to Daytona and told us how good his engines were. Then he had some problems, but he told us yesterday he's extremely confident with this entire setup. It's experience on the outside of the front row versus an inexperienced pole sitter. And for more on that theme, let's go to Kyle Petty.
If you want to talk inexperience, let's just move back here to row 3. We've got Dave Blaney from the World of Outlaws and Jimmy Kitchens over here. This is like their first super speedway stuff. The thing with Atlanta is twofold. It doesn't make any difference how much talent you have. You can come here and be a great race car driver, but you've got to get experience on the super speedways. You've got to get experience in a car like this, and it's got to be Atlanta experience for some reason. I don't know why this racetrack's so much different than any other place we run, but the corners are so big and so sweeping. You think the car's under you, all of a sudden it's not. These guys are here, qualified well, running well, excellent drivers, great drivers. They're trying to get experience. Experience is key. It's a catch-22. This is the only place you can get it. Another key factor for these guys with inexperience is what a 33 or 34, 3,500-pound car is going to feel like when these Hoosier tires begin to wear down a little bit. They're used to running 40 and 50-lap races on good tires, running until the tires run off. This time, they've got to make adjustments in driving style. They've got to make adjustments in the car. They've got to learn that stuff. That's it. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Hello, everyone. Jerry Punch along with Benny Parsons and Ray Dunlap. Welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway for our live coverage of ARCA competition. You know, Kyle talks about experience and how to get experience in ARCA, but also you're going to get an opportunity in ARCA. We saw that happen last November with Joe Bessie, a young man who'd been trying to get a break to get into Winston Cup or Busch. He couldn't get a break, couldn't get a sponsor, but then last November, Benny Parsons, he came here, led the final 18 laps, won the race, and now he has set sail.
I've got a better example than that for you. 4 or 5 years ago, a young man named Ernie Irvin came this ARCA race and ran the number 2 car, DK Ulrich's car, and dusted the field. And a lot of guys in the garage here said, whoa, where'd this guy come from? We all know where he came from now because he's been in the news for the last 5 or 6 years.
And there are others, Ray. I mean, Mike Wallace has been here. I mean, a number of guys have, Michael Waltrip. Some of the guys have made names for themselves by winning on a super speedway in ARCA.
Well, a lot of big names, Jerry, but here's a name for you folks. Robbie Gordon. He came here and won the pole a few years ago, driving Junie Donlevy's car in this ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde series, and that, like Kyle said, is where you get your experience.
It's a stepping stone. It's the Midwestern-based ARCA series. These drivers trying to be able to get an opportunity to go toward the front and maybe increase their career to Busch or Winston Cup. Now, Bill Weber, there's one guy who would like to be able to get started toward the front in a hurry, but he starts toward the back.
You're exactly right, Doc. And what he'd like to do is get experience here and then make the move. This is Shane Doles. He's in the number 97 Huddle House Ford. He's made the switch from Pontiac to Ford. A year ago at Daytona, we documented his story. He wrecked early and then battled back to get his car in shape for the race, only to have the right side window fly out on the pace lap. He came here for this race this weekend in Atlanta, got 5 laps yesterday, on Wednesday, and blew the motor. He decided he would make the investment, bought a new motor, but only got 3 laps. He has more experience than many of the people in front of him in this field. But he's going to have to use his patience to get through it, because Shane Doles right now is the very last car to roll off this grid. He's got a fast car, but he's going to have to take his time showing it. Back up top.
Shane Doles will start 37 shotgun on the field as we get set for 300 kilometers, 122 laps of ARCA action from Atlanta Motor Speedway.
That monitor needs to be moved up in that corner for tomorrow. I mean, trouble is, Ray, if you want to sit there, if you get up, I can't see the monitor.
Right, yeah, I mean, I'll stand most of the time.
All right, let me find it. Let me find the folder here.
Bobby, tomorrow morning, how about moving that monitor up in the corner?
Open billboards. I got it.
Well, it does, but I can't.
Better than looking through all of us.
Keep going. Uh-oh.
There you go.
If it gets to that point, let me know and I'll help you get through the corner.
Okay, can you see the corner through there now, Ray?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby, very much.
Pit road speed.
Do we have anything to drink up here, Jerry?
Oh, we got some water that Ned and I were sharing.
Pay attention to what you say.
You're welcome to any of it. You won't, Penny. If anybody can bring us some waters, that'd be great. Take some of that BP if you want it. Our Speed World coverage of the ARCA APCO EasyCare 300 is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. Let's take a look at our Suzuki starting lineup. 37 cars strong. You heard Bill Weber tell you the first ever super speedway pole for Frank Kimmel out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. The Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet, he leads them down alongside reigning and 2-time series champion Tim Steele.
Back in row 2 is Matt Putter driving the car that won the Daytona 200, the ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde race, with Andy Hillenberg at the wheel and Mark Gibson on the outside.
Dave Blaney will start for Stan Hover in car number 80. Then it's Jimmy Kitchens, who we saw in that accident with Tim Steele down at Daytona.
Back in row 4, we'll have Mark Thompson, who came 3 feet short of winning his first ARCA race here in Atlanta back in November. And Ed Barrier, watch for this young man. He's been impressive. He will be awfully good at the start. Bob Strait and Perry Tripp back in row 5. He's taking a look at our starting lineup back in row 6. Jeff Streeter, there's the young man, 17 years of age, never been in a stock car, never been on an oval before. He starts inside row 6 alongside last year's Rookie of the Year, Blaze Alexander.
There's Kenny Martin, Harrison Bain in row 7. Back in row 8, Rick Hauser and Dill Whittemore. In row 9, Kurt Piercy, Mike Giacchetti. And in row 10, Dan Partis from Daytona Beach and John Wilkinson from Birmingham. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, Mark Stahl will start the Auto Bell Car Wash Ford in number 32. He'll start in row 11. Then it's Tim Mitchell making his first start today Bill Flowers from Powder Springs, Georgia, number 44, and young Jimmy McCune, a veteran from our Thunder races.
Back in row 13, Gary Weinbauer, longtime ARCA veteran, starts the car number 75. Rick Shepard had rebuilt that car from Daytona. Drew White and Philip Young back in row 14. Row 15, starting on the field, Bobby Gerhardt and David Frog Hall. In the car 51, row 16, Norm Benning and Glenn Brewer, former Rookie of the Year. Back in row 17, Mike Buckley and Tony Altire in the car 89. Back in row 18, Dick Tracy, no, not the detective, Dick Tracy, the race driver, Dickie Williamson in a provisional starting spot. And there is Shane Doles, Lonesome Shane, back in 37th spot, but folks, he won't be there long. Safety car peels away 300 kilometers, 187 miles, 122 laps. Glad to have you with us.
Bobby Gerhardt is having some trouble in the 85 car.
Great shot, great start for Tim Steele. There's Perry Tripp's car number 6. As the car is now trying to flash out single file. Tim Steele's car number 16 was shot out of a cannon coming out of turn 4.
And you saw the red and white car, Mark Gibson, getting extremely loose. Up in 3 and 4, he's dropped back to 5th spot. And now we see the 47 car, Jimmy Kitchens, has moved into 4th. Now it looks like Gibson's got everything back under control.
Got to ask you, Benny, in fairness to these drivers, when they qualified in practice yesterday, it was much cooler. Now it is very, very warm here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
And this racetrack is a lot different than they ran yet. Once again, we see the 59 car wiggle up in that corner, having all kinds of trouble in 3 and 4.
Ed Barrier makes the move inside of the 59 car of Gibson. There is Dave Blaney, the 1995 World Outlaws National Champion, driving the car number 80 for Stan Hover.
There's Mark Thompson in the midway forward. We were just talking about Blaney. This is Thompson right behind him. There's the leader right to the left side of your screen. Encourage those guys. That's it. Encourage them. Go.
And we are told Bobby Gerhardt is okay. He was just being very cautious at the start, knowing the fact that the NASCAR Winston Cup car had just qualified, and the track is about at least 15 degrees warmer than it was at any time it's been all week long.
Well, guys, Bill Weber had talked about Shane Doles and all the cars that he has to pass in this field. These drivers getting single file will certainly help him as they get a handle on these race cars. Shane moving up through the field quite well.
There you see Shane, the red and white car, orange and white.
He is driving for Billy Ballou. They have an Ernie Elliott engine in that car. That's a Ford Thunderbird. Billy Ballou bought some of those cars from Richard Jackson when Richard converted over from Ford to Pontiac. Former Rick Mass car. So there is Shane now making a move by the Bill Flowers car number 44. Gary Weinbauer in the car number 75. Norm Benning in the 84. Norm, the only ARCA competitor with a female crew chief. And Shane trying to split the difference. Whoa, Shane makes it work.
They're going to get a time of 31:37. That's, they talk to the driver in seconds on the stopwatch, not in miles per hour. That's Shane Doles in the car. Shane Doles is pretty loose right in the middle with that car behind me.
Up clear. Philip Young in car number 13 is being given the black flag from the ARCA flagman.
That's what that chatter was about, a slow car, the Philip Young car coming out of turn 2. Here is the car number 21. That is Bob Strait out of Mokina, Illinois, driving for Jack Boucher. They got a sponsor in this car, the Petron Plus people, sponsoring Boucher Sport for the remainder of the year. And the car number 21 makes a move into 11th position.
Benny, just as the green came out, you were talking about Bobby Gerhardt going slow, and he's on his way down to pit road in the Truck World Chevrolet. So evidently a problem for Bobby Gerhardt from Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
And Kyle Petty is there. Kyle, what's the problem?
Well, they've lifted the hood. They're looking at the spark plug wires. Like maybe he's running on 7 cylinders. Like they think a spark plug wire might be off. They're just looking right now. You know, this early in the race, it's got to be something like that. He could have dropped the valve on a restart. Number of things. They're just going to check it out and see what they can find out.
Bobby didn't decide to come here this past Sunday. This is not the regular car he would run in Atlanta. This is one of his rental cars. He normally rents out for other people in ARCA competition. Brother Billy there, the crew chief, working on Bobby Gerhardt's machine.
31-25.
There we see Tim Steele is the leader, the red-white 16. There he is. And right behind him is Frank Kimmel, the red and yellow Chevrolet. There we see the onboard camera. We're riding along with Frank Kimmel in the advanced auto parts onboard camera. As they go by Tim Mitchell in his 06 car.
Well, Benny, Frank has already done a lot better than Bob Hill did here in November. This exact same car, they were really looking for a good run, and they broke the drive shaft right on the first or second lap of the race, and Bob dropped out, finished last in November, so they got to be happy with the performance Frank's getting.
Tim still trying to make up with that dismal performance, the problems he had in Daytona. You heard him earlier. He finished 38 down there, had problems early on, only completed 12 laps. He led 5 of 12. That's the good news. He led 5 laps, but he only completed 12.
There we see Matt Hutter in the 1 car and Jimmy Kitchens in 47. That 1 car, the red and white car, that's the one I was talking about that won the ARCA 200 mile in Daytona Beach with Andy Hillenberg.
You know, Benny, a lot of folks might be sitting at home and say, well, if Andy Hillenberg won the race in Daytona, why is Matt Hutter in there? Well, it's simply a situation where James Finch has told Matt Hutter, we're going to get you some seat time this year, get you in some races, and this is one of the tracks they chose to bring him to.
Well, we are told that Bobby Gerhardt is off the cylinder. Unfortunately, he is down on 7 cylinders. That was the problem when he slowed at the beginning of the race, so a tough break for Bobby Gerhardt, former rookie of the year.
You see Dave Blaney, he's right in the middle of the screen, the red and white car, and Mark Thompson still following Blaney.
Everybody down here know their pit stop job.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad.
Cars inside, Frankie. They're running a little high on you.
There's Rick Heiser, the quick shine car number 99. He brings it down pit road, so for an unscheduled stop, we are in the early laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The ARCA APCO EasyCare 300, our leader, Tim Steele. Back in a moment.
Thank you, Lenny. That's what Alicia was getting them for, was for us. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Was Neil talking to you a minute ago, or was he just talking? He kept saying Benny, and he was telling me stuff, but he was... Oh, okay. Okay, I was... Okay.
He thinks he's going to win today. He's going to run her hard. Are you going to drink that?
No, that's yours.
Okay.
That's all right. Work the sodas over there.
Yeah.
Motor Speedway, Tim Steele in the car number 16, the H&S Dye Ford Thunderbird is our leader. Running second, our pole sitter Frank Kimmel. But the battle really heats up back behind these guys. Some great runs back there. The third place car is Matt Hutter, the car number 1.
That's not the race we're talking about. This is the race we're talking about right here.
Look at this group here. The car number 90, Ed Barrier, great run. He just got by Jimmy Kitchens, the 47 car. But here's Martin Gibson trying to make a move inside. He says, no, I don't think so.
And there we see that Mark Thompson has been able to get by Dave Blaney. Yes, folks, he did that while we're on commercial break. We must confess, we got to sell something every once in a while.
47.
And Mark Gibson trying to get by Kitchens. The 47 car Kitchens did not get a great deal of practice yesterday afternoon. Lost an engine just a few laps into their final practice session.
They dropped the valve on their Ernie Elliott motor, and Grady Humphrey said they're going to put a fresh Ernie Elliott power plant in for the day. Holding his own, though, back in sixth position, the rookie driver from who grew up running the short tracks in and around Hueytown in Birmingham, Alabama.
Well, this certainly is not the motor they'd like to use, guys, because they're using the Daytona motor, and they weren't able to change the camshaft and make all the changes they would like to because they just decided to put it in late last night.
Here's a car that's been showing a little bit of smoke. That is the 56 car of Dill Whittemore. Showing a puff of smoke a moment ago, the Seymour, Indiana Steel Chevrolet.
We're going to check the speeds on the cars as they go by the start-finish line, and right now, Gibson and Kitchens side by side.
That is for fifth position, Mark Gibson in the 59 car. The car of his was ill handling. Kitchens has the high line, and Gibson's car continues to be a little loose going in. The car bobbles, and that cost him about 2 car lengths and the position.
We can see that lap that Frank Kimmel was a little bit faster than Tim Steele. 173.5 versus 172.5.
Well, Mark Thompson is catching up to car number 1, Matt Hutter. Those two fighting for 3rd and 4th place, but you're right, that's a great battle right behind them.
Leaders up front, Tim Steele, who's won 2 of the last 3.
41.
There's the car number 16, left side of your screen. Tim Steele, he's the leader. Kimmel in 2nd spot. Frank Kimmel, a 4-time winner in ARCA competition, but all 4 of his wins have come on the short tracks. There's the roof cam for Frank Kimmel. See if you see the view he has on his windshield. Let's see the 3rd place car of Matt Hutter.
You mean the one that's getting passed right now? That car, the one you're talking about, Jerry?
That's the one.
There we see Mark Thompson going to the inside, taking over that, this barrier. It's Ed Barry in the 90 car that just took over the 3rd spot. There, the other black cars running back in about 7th spot right now.
Boy, Ed Barrier doing a well of a job in the car. They're unloading from Judy Dunleavy. There's Mark Gibson, the 59 car, right behind the 47 of Kitchens. And Kitchens goes high around Matt Hutter. That is for 4th position.
Hey, look at this. Frank, look. Wow, what a move.
Shane.
That's Shane Gold. He spun.
Bring it on around. Keep low. Bring it on. Watch it.
And the chatter you're hearing is from all those spotters talking to their drivers, telling them what happened off of turn 2. Shane Doles spun the car, got it righted, has it refired, but Hank Wetzel will put out the yellow hanky for the first time today. Caution at Atlanta Motor Speedway here on lap number 22 for the spin of the car 97, Shane Doles.
See what happened? Shane Doles was trying to keep from getting lapped by the leaders. There we see Shane Doles, the orange and white car. The leaders are right behind him. He wants to stay in that lead lap. He nails the gas hard. I can stay in front of these guys. I know my car will stay in front of these guys. Oops! Yeah, oops is right, Shane. Got the car a little bit loose, and around he goes. And luckily, the leaders did not collect him as he was spinning towards the wall.
And a big break for some of the guys who wanted to pit, right, Bill Weber?
Exactly right, Jerry. In fact, this is perfect for the 16 bunch. We're 22 laps in. This is a 122-lap race. They wanted to go 50 laps on their tires, and I was talking to the crew this morning. I said, so if you get a caution, say at lap 22, that'd work out good for it. You'd get 50 laps, change tires, and then go. That's exactly what we expect to see down here with the 16 and just about everybody else. 4 tires down here. Some guys may try 2 for track position, but I think 4 are going to pay off as we go along.
All right, well, that would be a break. Let's take a look at the view that Tim Steele had. Look at the left side. That's his roof cam. Watch Shane Doles' car spin.
Wow. That's Jimmy McCune right in front of him, isn't it, Ray?
Yeah, it is Jimmy McCune, and you gotta realize his dad's on the radio there saying, "Look out for that orange car, Jimmy," and he did a nice job too, right in front of the leaders.
And here they come.
Down pit road, where, as you heard Bill Weber say, this is a perfect plan. Now they can go 50 laps for their next stop. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
And the 16 car has come to pit road. Tim Steele on the pit road. Matt Hutter swings around him into his stall right in front of him. Right side tires going on for the 16. Fuel going in the back. This should be a 4-tire stop. They come around to the left side. Steele now getting his left side tires. Right side still going on for the 1 car just in front of him. Steele waiting for his tires to go on. Now down to Kyle.
The 90 car is changing 4 times. They got people from Mike Skinner's crew, 90 car crew, Winston. They left the left rear tire. They left the left rear tire loose. They just drove off on it, man. Drove off. He's out in the middle of pit road. They're going to have to, I don't know what they're going to do. They've got a mess because they're not going to pick this car up. And it's blocking pit road. Could be dangerous with guys leaving pit road right now. Everybody's out there helping them try to pick this thing up and put it back up on the jack stand. They've jacked it up under the rear. Tore the left rear quarter panel on. That's a shame. Barrier was running great. Had a good run going here, guys.
Kyle, he was third overall, and that's typical of the kind of luck Ed Barrier's had in his career. He has never been able to catch a break, and then finally get the left rear tire on, and the car is down and away. But some anxious moments there for the car number 90. Under caution for the first time of the day here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back in a moment.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
When Mike says speed shot.
I never heard him say speed shot. I know I saw you go like that. Mikey, are you cueing me? Maybe I can turn this up.
BP, if you want to use a pin,
Yeah.
use a tip of that if you want.
Left rear.
Here was.
New tires. And 4. I'm sorry, guys, man. I'm doing all.
See. That's. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I mean, it's the jack man's fault. He just lets the car down too. He just right here. Watch this. You know, here's the tire. The jack.
The jack man didn't know he was letting it down, I don't think.
Okay, might not have. Yeah. To go. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to circle the tire man first. Now also watch the jack. Yeah, exactly.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Hampton, Georgia. First caution flag today on lap 22 due to a spin out of turn 2 by Shane Doles. But the action really happened on pit road a moment ago in the Ed Barrier pit.
Yes, here's Ed Barrier in the pits. Here they're changing the left rear tire. But also watch this jack. Okay, now we'll roll the tape forward and we'll see the guys changing the tire. And all of a sudden, he's still changing the tire. They're trying, and for some reason the jack came down. I don't know if he let it down or if it just fell, but watch the tire now as he drives away. That's the driver's signal to go. And boom, the tire comes off because none of the lug nuts were tight.
Now there is the jack right there, and Barrier is back on pit road, back in front of Kyle Petty.
Well, what's happened was when the car failed and took off, it's messed up the fuel filler neck. They're having a little trouble getting gas in, but what they're trying to do is just beat the left rear fender out. Aerodynamically, the car's hurt a little bit, but not terrible. It shouldn't be too bad here, I guess. But it didn't really bang anything down. The ARCA official's talking to him right now. I think they're going to assess him to add insult to injury. The car falls off the jack. I think they're going to assess him a 1-lap penalty for pitting out in the middle of pit road out of his box. So they're going to stay here and try to work on it for a while, guys, and do the best they can so they can finish this thing.
What a tough break for Ed Barrier. He had moved all the way up to 3rd position after qualifying 8th and was making a run for, great race car. Young man's been needing a break. And now he will probably go a lap down. He currently is being shown on the lead lap in 18th position, but they are still working on the car, and apparently the ARCA officials will hold that car on pit road. Under the first caution flag today here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, back with more as Matt Hutter is our leader.
Hey, Mike. Mike was going to break, Neil. Yeah, I see him. Yeah, I see him. He twisted.
But he's not looking back there.
Yeah, I see him. I mean, here's what happened, Neil. The car was not up high enough. And he was going to take another pump. But in the meantime, in his haste to do that, he twisted the handle as he was coming up.
Yep, you're right. It's not high enough.
The jack isn't high enough. They can't get the tire on the hub. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Are you cueing Ray when speed shot as well? Do you hit an all call?
I didn't get to. Yeah, I hear you fine now. I just missed that last one. Oh, sorry.
And the green flag waves here on lap 28 on the restart after a 6-lap caution period. 25-year-old Matt Hutter being shown as a leader and only his 3rd ever ARCA start.
And right now we've got a battle for 2nd spot. And there's a battle for about 4th or 5th spot. 46 car, Frank Kimmel. Mark Thompson looks like in the 66. There goes 66. Also Ed Berry in the middle of that mix.
Hutter, our leader, Ken Steele running second. There is car number 90 that we were talking about a moment ago. He is now a lap down. Here is Steele closing in a hurry on the youngster Matt Hutter, driving for James Finch.
Well, that was a disastrous pit stop for Ed Berrier, but a good pit stop for James Finch and Matt Hutter. He came in running 4th and went out as the leader, but boy, he's not going to be able to hold off Tim Steele.
And right behind them, they are side by side, BP, scrambling for position.
Scrambling for position, and we see the 46 car is trying to get back in about 7th spot. Disregard that pylon because the 90 car is not on the lead lap. Oh, he's heading towards the rear of the longest line. I see. I apologize. He is on the lead lap.
So the ARCA officials held him back to making start back in the longest line.
Got a car in the wall behind. No caution yet. He's got a car up high.
Jimmy Kitchen's in the wall. Look at turns 3 and 4.
You heard the spotters telling their drivers, we got a car in the wall, up high, meaning that you need to go down low. And Kitchens, the rookie driver, who had the engine problem yesterday, Grady Humphreys, the veteran crew chief on that car. And apparently he will have some significant damage on the right side of his Ford Thunderbird, and he brings out the 2nd caution flag of the day, just 8 laps after the first one. Meanwhile, let's check in the pits with Kyle Petty.
Well, I'm standing here with Bobby Gerhardt. I woke up. Most of the time, you guys, you drive and you run all day or you go home. You drove a little while. Now you were in here under the hood working on it. What's the problem with it?
Well, we're not sure. Went on 7 after about 10 laps. We had a flat tire qualifying, had to start in the back. And my motor man's at home this weekend, so I'm doing double duty, so to speak.
Well, maybe that's the problem. When drivers work on motors, most of the time something happens to them. Maybe your motor man will be coming from now on.
We're going to try to get it all back on 8 and go out again.
All right, good luck, man.
Bobby Gerhardt trying to get his car back on the racetrack. There's the car 47 of Jimmy Kitchens, short track ace from Hueytown, Alabama, who qualified 6th, had a good run in Daytona, ended up finishing back about 22nd or 23rd, but young man's a rookie driver, the KC Racing Ford. Came into contact with the concrete out of turn 4, close encounter of the concrete kind, bringing out the 2nd caution flag of the day.
And you can see the flat side on that car and the damage that he's done by brushing the wall up in 3 and 4.
And with the caution flag out, everyone has already pitted, so we'll take a quick break and come back with more green flag racing action. The ARCA APCO EasyCare 300 coming your way from Atlanta in a moment. Where is it, Lenny? Which one is it? Quaker Stadium.
Well, when you think of a small block engine in NASCAR Winston Cup racing or
Bob knows what the word copy is. Ask Bob what it is, Neil.
You know what the copy is? Okay, thanks.
I'm sorry, I took somebody's, the 90 cars, not allowed. What did they do? Put him at the end of the long
They
line.
must have, huh?
I'm giving Bob the high sign. Thank you, Bob. You're always looking after us, aren't you, Bob? Thank you, man. You're my hero, Bob. When I grew up, I want to be like you.
There he is, Junior.
There's Bob Jenkins.
Do they have him tethered up there like Chuck is?
Owner of property in the Caribbean. Track facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil for longer engine life.
Well, when you think of the small block engine in NASCAR Winston Cup racing or in ARCA racing, this is what comes to mind. This is basically the same power plant they've been using since 1955, and it's pretty much reached its maximum output. Here is the future, the new SB2. This hopefully will take the small block engine to the next step. It's not legal in Winston Cup yet, but there are 4 in the ARCA race here today. Hopefully, this engine will get stronger and stronger for these teams over the next few years. Right now, it's in a developmental stage. Its durability really hasn't been proven, but they might have 40 more years to work on this and make it stronger and faster.
And I tell you, folks, a lot of guys down in the garage here are really high on this SB2. They call it small block second version. The head system, the valve system, is a little like the Fords. It's kind of a staggered valve situation rather than in line like they're on the current small block.
And Jimmy Kitchen's getting some work on his car. I think Bill Weber is standing by. Bill, it's pretty heavily damaged on the right side.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. We couldn't see that. Appreciate you pointing that out. The left side's got a little damage, too. Apparently, he might have had contact with another car out on the track. He also came down pit road once and had no brakes. So he had to make another lap around, then came crawling down pit road. The crew had to leap out there and stop the car, the 47 car, as it rolled in here. So Jimmy sits in the car. He's unbuckling now. I think he's going to climb on out because they're working on the brakes. They've got heavy damage. And he's very disappointed. He had a great car at Daytona, too. Got caught up in some traffic down there as well.
Well, 34-year-old Jimmy Kitchens will apparently call it a day as he brought the second caution flag of the day. Cleanup continues at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll be right back. Gotcha.
What they're doing there now, Bill, Neil, they're looking for brake rotor parts.
Explode the brake rotor on that deal.
Anytime these guys anymore hit a wall with the right front, they're exploding that brake rotor. So the guys out there trying to find all those loose pieces on the racetrack that will puncture a tire.
Yes. Bob.
We haven't used the 32 yet. I don't believe it's the back of the pack. He just made a pit stop, so he'll be
Okay.
back.
All right. And the promo, right? Championship week. Okay, great. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway under caution for the second time today. But championship week continues tonight with the ACC quarterfinals at the Greensboro Coliseum at 7 o'clock Eastern time. It's the Seminoles of Florida State taking on the 8th-ranked Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. Yeah, Tim Duncan and company. How about 9 o'clock? The Cavaliers of Virginia taking on the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Hoop hysteria continues on the news tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. Well, the one driver who isn't really hysterical about his performance today is Jimmy Kitchens, and he's standing by with our Bill Weber.
And for the second race in a row, very, very disappointed. What happened out there, Jimmy?
Well, Bill, we had just made a pit stop after the first caution, and we were trying to get back to the pack, and somehow, going down the back straightaway, we caught some lap traffic, and I ended up on the outside, and it was pretty good till we got to turn 3, and we ran out of room again, so I'm going to have to stay on the bottom instead of getting myself stuck on the outside. I don't know. We're going to have to probably stay out of the race the rest of this one. We mess the rotor and spindle up, but hopefully we can get things going and be ready for Charlotte.
That's an experience thing. You learned something here today.
Yeah, we are, and I learned at Daytona, and I knew going in the back straightaway I was kind of in the same predicament, but, you know, when you're running 180 miles an hour in traffic, you've got to keep going, and there's not a lot you can do, but just hope you can drive your way out of it, and it didn't happen this time.
Okay, we'll see you at Charlotte.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, sir.
Okay, 2 great race cars, but 2 very disappointing finishes for Jimmy Kitchen this season.
Lights are still on atop the safety car, so we'll take another break and come back with more live green flag racing action. What a beautiful day here in Hampton, Georgia. We'll be back at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I got hot.
Oh, I'll bet.
Walk back up, it's really hot.
It's a lot of steps.
How about Robbie Gordon, huh?
Isn't that something?
Here, Jimmy Kitchen on the radio.
Told Jerry he can take some of that Bush Pole money and pay his fine from last week.
Didn't win enough.
No. Jerry's back.
He's back. By the way, Jerry.
Okay. Okay.
It's that Petron. It's Petron.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, getting set for restart and racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 1 lap to go. We'll be under green next time by. Second caution flag today being worked. And how about information on the Super Highway? NASCAR online. Yeah, there's the Prime Star 500 tomorrow. www.nascar.com. All the nuts and bolts of sports from the driver interviews, live chat sessions, and reports from the crew chiefs. That's NASCAR online at www.nascar.com.
Now then, 1 lap to go, and we see the 90 car of Ed Barrier on the inside, and you know that he's frustrated enough right now that he is going to try awfully hard to get that lap back. Or if Tim Steele knows how mad he is, or if they've told him, because I would expect if he knew just how hot he was right now, he would let him go and not worry too much about it. Remember, Ed Barrier had the foul up in the pits, and the ARCA official penalized him a lap for pitting out of his box, which is what you're supposed to do, the same penalty in NASCAR. He must have cut.
He did lose the lap there, Benny, you're right, and he is to the inside and going to race Steele. But I'll tell you what, he came back through that pack pretty well a little bit ago. That damage to his left rear may not be as bad as we thought.
Getting set for a restart on lap 39, the last caution flag. The second caution flag today for 7 laps.
Let him know. Low side there. His car's off. Green. Go.
That's the command from the spotters telling Tim Steele and others to get on the throttle.
Oh, Tim Steele boxed the 90 car that time. He did not want the 90 car to get that lap back, so he gave him a fake start and Barrier bit, and now we see he's back in 3rd spot.
Barrier hanging on behind the Hutter car, although he is a lap down, a lap and 2 cars behind the Hutter. Matt Hutter we're talking about, driving the car number 1 for James Finch.
Blaze Alexander in the 26 car.
Folks, those cars are flashing by, over 190 miles an hour when they come by that camera.
And Barrier now has got his car back up to speed. Talking about the 90 car, here's Ed Barrier, the black car. That's Matt Hutter, the red and white number 1. The leader of the race is the red and white 16. There he is, Tim Steele.
.83 laps to go. Take a look at our field summary. The number in parentheses shows you where the driver began the day. See Perry Tripp, who's 3rd, started back in 10th spot. How about Danny Pardis, 8th? He started back in 19th.
John Wilson, a good. He's progressing well from 20 to 11th.
Barrier really trying hard to get underneath Matt Hutter. Now has a shot underneath Hutter. And he's still not getting back on the lead lap. He has to catch Tim Steele.
Now there's a great battle. Cars battling each other. 17, Mike Duchetti. The 12 is Rick Shepard out of Mount Clemens, Michigan. Red 12. And Kenny Martin in the red and white number 50.
And Perry Tripp has gone by Matt Hutter in the car number 1. Perry Tripp is the white car, left side of your screen, with the blue number 6 on the side. He is in 2nd position. Hutter is 3rd, but Hutter is getting a challenge from Frank Kimmel in the car number 46.
31.75 leader, 30 flat. All clear. Don't feel any better.
He's got to run. Does Kimmel? That can't quite do it.
And as you watch the battle side by side, whoa, even the spotters are getting excited. Kimmel couldn't quite hang on. You Bobby Gerhart fans, Bobby Gerhart going back on the racetrack.
31.95. Low car down low.
They're talking about the Gerhart car. You see Gerhart as they go by him.
Now he's got a good run, Kimmel does, and I think he'll be able to get by Hutter when he gets to the corner.
Matt Hutter making only his 3rd ever ARCA start. Just really to get some experience.
Pick your line that you can run until we can get it back in.
Look at the speed now that Steele is running, 175 and a half, and you see Perry Tripp running almost as fast. And those 2 cars right now, those speeds are clear of the class of the field.
Well, also, Benny, we saw Frank Kimmel a couple of mile an hour slower that time, but he was making the move around Matt Hutter, so that had to slow him down a bit.
And they have black flag Dill Whittemore, the former co-rookie of the year, the car number 56, smoking and showing a little more consistent smoke. And now ARCA officials and Hank Wetzel, the flagman, have waved the black flag.
And there we see Mark Stahl in the 32 car, the Autobell Car Wash Ford.
Well, they gave me a hard time, Benny, because I guess at Daytona I called that car a Chevrolet, and they've run a Ford all the time that he's been racing, so they let me know about it. But it is a Ford, and Mark doing a pretty good job. He moved up. He came in and pitted on lap 32, and he's right now running in 16th position.
As he closes in on the back of Mike Duchetti, the 17th car.
And now with Duchetti, with the Dill Whittemore car having to go to the pits, Duchetti being shown in 14th and Mark Stahl in 15th. So they are battling for position on the racetrack. Mike Duchetti, who told us about the fact that his son's little blanket, the Fukui, was his good luck charm in Daytona. And Dill Whittemore is on pit road. Right in front of you, Bill.
And his windshield is covered with oil, and what they're saying is that he has developed an oil leak, and it's leaking onto the headers, and that's what's causing the smoke. So they're going to try and find the source of that leak, clean that up, and send him back out. But right now, Dill sits on pit road, losing valuable laps, and he's also very disappointed.
Those little oil lines they were working on are the oil lines that go to the valve cover that cool the valve springs. There we see Bob Strait trying to get by Matt Hutter. That is for the 4th spot. That's straight to the 21 car. As Jerry said, they picked up a sponsor, and Blaze Alexander now tries to take 5th spot away. That's the 26, the black number 26.
Blaze Alexander, last last year's Rookie of the Year, and now Straight has a move inside of Matt Hutter, and will take the spot away, driving for Jack Bowsher. 21, and now here's Blaze Alexander. That's the black car Benny mentioned. They will take the position away.
Or try to.
That would be for 7th spot, actually for 5th position. Hutter holds him off.
And folks, if you didn't see our Daytona show, that is Bob Straight in car number 21, and they're going to run this year, hopefully for the championship, trying to go to every race this year. Bobby Bowsher, Jack's son, no longer at the wheel. There's a Bob Straight from Mokina, Illinois, behind the wheel.
And, of course, we mentioned they picked up a sponsor for the 1997 year to be able to run for the ARCA Series Championship.
And one car, just the car's chassis is extremely off. We can see 166 versus 174, 172. So we see just no speed at all in the one car. And finally, and Blaze Alexander almost touches the wall, and at 66, Thompson's going by both of them, looks like.
Mark Thompson said, I just can't wait any longer, guys. I'm going to head on out of here. Thompson makes the move underneath Hutter.
out front.
Well, the race car that Matt Hutter's driving, the number 1 Phoenix car there, was a car that they took to the Brickyard last year, Benny. Jack Purvis was behind the wheel of that, and I wondered when we talked about the Brickyard and the difference in this racetrack, why they chose to bring that car here.
Well, let's find out what may be the problem with the one car. I think Bill Weber is in their pit.
Well, Jerry, one thing is experience. Obviously, Matt's trying to get some of that, but the car's a little bit tight. But if you'll remember back at Daytona when Andy Hillenberg was in that car, they told us that they didn't want him to lead, okay? Well, that's pretty much the situation now. They're not interested in leading now. They just want to lead later on in the race. And I just talked to crew chief Johnny Allen, says, we're fine, and we'll be strong as the laps go along.
Well, what's going to happen right now is Matt Hutter's going to get in the wreck, because these guys are going to become impatient, and they're going to run in the back of him, and they're going to have a crash.
There's the serial, the reverse serial, basically. Since the restart, he's going backwards. Lap 39, he was second. Now he's being shown in 5th position and in jeopardy of losing some more spots.
I never see Blaze Alexander being passed. Just a couple laps ago, he was up there trying to get by the one car, and now it looks like Gibson may have a run on the outside. But see, he comes back up and blocks his move. We're going to have a wreck in a minute. What happened to Gibson when they got to go low down in the corner here at Atlanta Motor Speedway? These corners are so long, you mess up your angle getting in the corner.
Mark Gibson finished 3rd in Daytona. And these cars, what a scramble. Harris Devane, the 33 car. Now Gibson will make a move to the inside. Is there room? His car has always been slipping down low. Maybe they got it dialed in and it picks up. Gibson able to make the pass.
And Harris Devane, the 33 car, also able to get by. That's a red and white 33. And now let's see what Blaney can do. He wants to get a run. Blaney wants to get a run, and he will get a run. And now he'll duck down to the inside, but this is going to mess up his angle. He's entering into the corner. He's not able to get in the corner as deep as he would if that car was not on the outside of it.
Only the second ARCA start here in Atlanta for Dave Blaney in the car number 80, driving for Stan Hoover. Car that Gary Bradbury drove in Daytona.
See Norm Bennett in the 84 car slow on the apron of the racetrack. Battle for second spot. The white number 6 has it. The 46, the red, and a caution flag is up.
Caution for the 3rd time today. Apparently some debris on the racetrack, we are being told. So the safety car is pulling out. It's on the apron down at turns 1 and 2. And Perry Tripp will be able to hold. He's just going to go by the safety car. So that will bring out the yellow flag for the 3rd time. Here on lap number 55, make it 56 as they came by that time. There's Perry Tripp's Chevy Monte Carlo for that debris right there on the racetrack.
I don't know what it is, but anything is too much. So
at 190 miles an hour at the end of the straightaways, indeed it is. There's the leader. We are told it's a piece of a tire on the racetrack. They will remove as Tim Steele being shown as our leader here after 55 laps.
Chairman, and we're good on these tires. Set your temperatures the same way.
Norm Benning? Wow, yeah.
Wow. It might be what caused the tire to go flat. It might have knocked it off. Tire might have knocked it off. Hard to say. Thanks.
Oh, boy, right in the face. Ouch, babe. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Norm Benning, the car on pit road, brought out the third caution flag today. Apparently, that tire you saw, that debris on the racetrack, shredded from the right front, and it's heavily damaged that right front fender as the crew now goes to work on the car number 84. Our Atlanta coverage continues tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Live flag to flag, the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series, the Steel Power Tools 300, and Tim Bender, one of 16 cars that broke the track record. We follow up at 3:30 Eastern Time. That final 60 minutes of practice for the Winston Cup cars, we call it Happy Hour. And then Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, NASCAR Today will kick it off. And then our live flag-to-flag coverage. Bob Jenkins will join us, Jack Arute, and all the crew at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, the Prime Star 500 on ABC. Let's check in with Kyle Petty.
Well, Bob Straight's coming into his pit. They're changing 4 tires. They're making no chassis adjustments. No chassis adjustments at all. Mark Thompson, who's running in 5th, right behind him, is pitting right across the way. Same thing. They're changing 4 tires. No chassis adjustments at all. These guys' cars are working pretty good. Bill Weber?
Same for Tim Steele, Kyle Petty. 4 tires, gas, no adjustment. He's down. Steele goes back in the race. He passes the 1 car as Matt Hutter still sits on pit road, getting his left side tires. This is a long stop. They didn't make a chassis adjustment. The 1 car briefly slipped off the track. The 46 car is also on pit road. They're pushing him off at the end of pit road, trying to pick up a position. Now the 1 car is done, and he's got heavy traffic. Look out for Blaze Alexander. They both squeeze by.
I think they got a little excited down there.
I'd say it does get exciting in the pits. I can speak from experience. Great job, Bill, on the pit stops. There's the car number 1, Matt Hutter, in the Phoenix Chevrolet, the James Finch-owned car. 57 laps are complete, and that's exactly what they wanted to do, is maybe go get those fresh tires on these race cars. There's the Hutter car. Still showing Tim Steele as the leader, as Norm Benning's car now heads back down pit road. He's the car that brought out the caution flag. 3rd caution flag today here at lap 57 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back with more live ARCA coverage after this.
Hey, Bill and Kyle, they chose to pit now because now they can make it the rest of the way. Is that the deal?
Yeah. Are you asking if they can go the rest of the way?
Yeah.
They can go on fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be pretty slick the last 10 laps or so. But yeah, I would say if it stays green, I think they'll go the rest of the way.
Okay, that's why they pitted now, because they can't make it on fuel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, Benny, they said the guys I talked to that had like 4 or 5 sets said if there's a caution every 25 laps, we'll be coming in. Yeah. Because after 35 laps, the tires fall off. And the Steel guys said they were good to 50. Yeah. So some guys were wearing out right fronts, but...
Yes.
We'll try and confirm that for you.
Thanks.
Not that I'm doubting Todd.
Yeah, they told me at 30 the right front was gone. Okay, gotcha. Today's Speed World coverage of the ARCA APCO EasyCare 300 is being brought to you by the more than 1,500 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Working the 3rd caution flag of the day here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but lots of racing coming your way. How about the Formula One season opener? The first race of the 1997 Formula One season, defending world and race champion Damon Hill makes his debut with the Team Arrows. Qualifying, that's at 1:30 a.m. Saturday morning. And of course, the Grand Prix of Australia, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, only on the Deuce. 32 car being shown as our leader. That is Mark Stahl. He did not make a pit stop, and right in front of him on the tail end of the lead lap is Ed Barrier, and he may have a shot at getting his lap back.
Ever see the 12 car, Rick Shepard? Ever see Stahl started in 21st, is currently first. The 12 car, once again, Rick Shepard. Both the 12 and the 90 cars lapped down, but Mark Stahl does not have the fresh tires, so he's going to be hard pressed to stay up there.
Well, you're right, Benny. He came in last time on lap 32, and here we are about to go back to green at lap 60. He was 18th at one time, but now he's leading the field.
Mark Stahl started 18th in Daytona. In the opener, finished 5th.
They're waving off the start. It will not be a restart this time.
Trying to get some of the cars lined up there. There's Hank Wetzel in the flag stand saying, nope, we're not going to restart you right now. We'll get everybody in position behind the safety car, which stays on the racetrack. That car number 12 there, that's Rick Shepard, the red car. That's the car that was heavily damaged in Daytona, and Rick was so frustrated he did not want to get in the ambulance. He walked back to the garage area and actually fixed that car in his garage at home. Let's check into the pits once again with Bill Weber.
Well, Doc, on the 46 car, Frank Kimmel, Frank's been telling his crew the car is extremely tight. So they tried to loosen it up. They put more tape on the front. They made an air pressure adjustment and made a wedge adjustment, 2 rounds of wedge. So they wanted to free that car up. Frank's telling his crew he simply cannot get back in the gas. There's a car stalled on the backstretch off of turn 2, the 06 car. So Mitchell is back there, and he'll get a push start, hopefully, from a wrecker, and then he'll be able to resume the race here. But Frank Kimmel's car is good, but it's been tight. They try to loosen it up, and we'll keep an eye on that to see what happens.
That's a pretty big adjustment, Bill. The tape is an adjustment, the air pressure an adjustment, and the chassis adjustment. So they make 3 at one time. I would say the car's a little tight.
I'd say all 3 of the options were used on that one, so we'll see. They're trying to free the car up, but that's the roof cam of Frank Kimmel that you heard Bill talking about. The Jeffersonville, Indiana driver in the Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet, currently being shown in 6th position. Back with a restart from Atlanta after this.
Yep.
Kimmel had the front end of that race car taped completely off when he qualified. They didn't have one single hole in there. I've never seen a guy have it like that before. They didn't have a bit of air going into the grill.
So what did it take to make it a day in the Winston Cup? What was last place?
In 25th, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Who was?
25th.
I think so. Ricky Rudd.
Yep, thanks. 83, and he ran a 37. 4,500, so.
Mm.
Well, these guys may not be able to go the distance. Sokolowski says they're going to stop. He might be lying to me, but
He wouldn't lie to you, William.
No, not a.
He may not tell you the complete truth, but he probably wouldn't lie to you.
I think we can go on fuel, but the tires
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, lights continue to flash atop the safety car while they were able to get the car 06 pushed back into the garage or back on the pit road. That's the 06 car that was on the track stalled in turn 2. Tim Mitchell out of Fayetteville, Tennessee, the Smith-Peterson Pontiac. And now Hank Wetzel will say next time by, we will put him on the green with Mark Stahl out of Savannah, Georgia, being shown as our leader. Tim Steele is second. So it's Stahl and Steele in the first 2 spots.
I wonder if we should believe Hank Wetzel, because he did the same thing the last lap, and he did the same thing the lap before that. So you reckon we really are going to go racing next time? I think we probably are this time.
All right, so they will line up as Norm Benning makes another entry on the pit road. He had that tire come apart, the right front. He cut a tire, and they've made a couple of stops on his car, number 84. And how about John Kernan and company? RPM coming up 6:30 tonight Eastern time on the Deuce. You know Kernan will have all the information on Formula One season opener from Australia. How about the NHRA Gator National? Some records going to fall there. And a complete wrap-up of Atlanta. That's all the RPM staff. John Kernan and company coming your way 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Deuce. Got to hustle back to the hotel and watch RPM.
Yeah.
Patience is going to be a virtue here for Tim Steele, guys, because right in front of him is Mark Stahl, who does not have fresh tires, and Ed Barrier, which you made mention a little bit ago, Benny. He's now back on the lead lap, but both of those cars a lot slower than Steele.
We're going to see what kind of restart Steele can get. He was like a jackrabbit on that previous restart. Just took off like a rocket. Now this time he has cars in front of him.
Go, go, go. Flag, green flag.
No digging.
He'll look to the outside of Stahl.
Boy, he's not looking as time to get to the front, and there he goes. Bad break for Ed Barrier in the 90 car.
Mark Gibson now makes a move to the outside of Stahl, of Mark Stahl. The 59 car will take the second spot away.
Gibson might have that car fixed. His brother Tony, who's worked with Bill Elliott, works some good cars. He's here this weekend. They might have it adjusted now.
Well, a couple of cars that are on the move are the 21 and 46 cars. There is Kimmel. You heard Bill Weber talk about all the adjustments they made on the 46 car. Apparently the car had just been too tight. They tried to get the car loosened up, and now he makes a move underneath Mark Stahl and takes the spot away.
And Mark Thompson in the 66 comes up to challenge Mark Stahl.
Offside. 31.76. Yeah.
Now the car number 90 once again is cranked a lap down. Tough break for Ed Barrier. They're trying to hang on, and now Tim Steele. Here comes Perry Tripp in the car number 6 underneath Hutter, and can't quite hold the bottom groove. They are battling for 9th position. The car number 1 is in 9th spot. There's Blaze Alexander. He is being shown in 8th. That's the car number 46.
And right there, guys, you're looking at 3 of the race cars that have those new SB2 motors in it. Right there, Matt Hutter, Perry Tripp, and the number 26 of Blaze Alexander.
Harris Devane just made a move by the 32 car to take his spot away. He is in 6th position.
And Perry Tripp now has the outside position. Oh, that didn't work either. Matt Hutter goes to the corner pretty hard, and Blaze Alexander comes down on the inside of Stahl. And he will take that position away.
55 laps to go. Well, you can tell Mark Stahl did not get those tires in his car. He is struggling to get that race car up in the corner.
He is struggling terribly to get around the racetrack. There he's losing another spot as Perry Tripp goes by.
Battle for second position. Actually, that's a battle. That's Mark Gibson making a move inside the car number 90, who is being shown a lap down. Gibson, there's the battle for 3rd spot between Strait in the 21 car and Kimmel, who was our pole sitter.
There's several cars out in the race down here, but I don't know if any of them would have any tires. Mostly slow cars.
Now, guys, that's Dan Faldorf, who's on the radio. He's talking to Frank Kimmel, and he is part owner of this team. He took Frank Kimmel to 3 short track victories last year, and they're looking for tires.
Yeah, we were told in the garage this morning that they were out of tires. How about it, Bill Weber? Is there a concern about tires?
That's exactly right, Jerry. These guys are questionable about whether they can make it on gas, but everyone's concerned about tires. This is Tim Steele's pit. He's got 1 set here. Come back here real quick. Back here, he's got 2 more sets that he hasn't used. They have 3 sets left, and we're already on lap 769. Working lap 70 as the 46 car just battles out on the track. He's moving into 3rd. Now listen, these guys have 3 sets of tires, but the 46 car only has 2. So Jeff Lemons has been lobbying back here for another set. He's very concerned he's going to get caught for a 10-lap shootout with no set of tires. So right now they are looking for tires back here. Steele's got 3 sets, the 46, and some other teams down here only have 2.
Now the car number 1. Thank you, Bill. The 1 in the 6 car. Here is the 1 of Hutter. There's Blaze Alexander and Perry Tripp. Alexander the 26, Perry Tripp the 6 car. That is for 8th position. Now Tripp takes the 8th spot away. Will again set his sights on the 7th place car of Matt Hutter. Harris Devane making a move. He is in the 6th spot. Harris Devane is the red and white numeral car number 33 on the bottom of the racetrack, moving underneath the 21 car.
Yes, Bob Strait looks like his car, when he gets just a few laps on those tires, starts going away just a little bit. And as you said, Jack Bowser, I talked to him earlier yesterday, and very, very happy with his new sponsor. I met the folks in California, Petron, and Strait said, okay, go ahead. Go on in there too hard and go drift up the hill. I'll just go back in front of you. Good move. That looked like the Earnhardt move from Darlington.
Harris Devane, the Georgia Peanuts Ford Thunderbird. He's a peanut farmer here in Georgia. Former co-rookie of the year back in 1995. Our field summary showing you where your favorite driver is running. That parenthesis shows you where they started. See, Harris Devane started back in 14th. He's currently 6th. Mark Gibson, 1986 Rookie of the Year. Still looking for that first ARCA victory. Finished 3rd in Daytona, finished 3rd last spring here in Atlanta, finished 3rd last fall here in Atlanta. Sort of stuck in 3rd. You watch him, Perry Tripp also trying to make a move. He closes in on the car number 1 for 7th spot.
See those cars as they come off the corner, move around on the racetrack, and yes, folks, those drivers can feel that. And it doesn't feel very good, I might add.
Yeah, we're talking about the motors in some of these cars. Perry Tripp right there in car number 6 is using a motor that Rich Bickle ran here last year in November. Darrell Waltrip showed up with Rich Bickle to get him a little seat time here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, a motor that Randy Dorton built, so it's a pretty strong power plant.
Mark Thompson, you listen to some of the spotters.
Run your line, pal. Don't worry about it. Just keep coming.
And what about Mark Thompson's situation? Are his tires okay, Kyle?
Keep digging. The lead is
Mark Thompson's looking pretty good. He's like the guys down on Bill's end of pit road. He's got a couple of sets of tires laying in the back of his pit. Had them laying there, already had them glued up, ready to go. Now, Bob Strait, on the other hand, just got 1 new set of tires. They just put the lug nuts on them, and they are tickled to death to have that 1 set of tires because they had rolled a set of tires up here that they took off the first stop guys. So if it came down to it, they were going to have to go back to that. They're running 4th and 5th on the racetrack respectively there. So this could have been a major, major thing for Bob Strait.
Oh, that could develop into quite some strategy at the end of the race if you're out of tires. There's the battle up front. Tim Steele trying to hang on. The H&S die. Car number 16 and the 26 car is on pit road. Bill?
Well, this is clearly an unscheduled pit stop. They're doing a 4-tire change and adding fuel. They've given Blaze Alexander a drink. Can't see the right side tires, but the only thing I can guess out here is that Blaze had called in and said, now his left, I see it now, the left rear tire is flat. The left rear tire is flat. It wasn't flat when he came in. He obviously felt it going down. So in traffic, Blaze Alexander sits on pit road getting 4 tires, losing valuable spots.
Tough break for the Lisa Express car. Alexander and now Rick Heiser on the bottom side as the leader. Tim Steele goes by. Here comes Mark Gibson. A moment ago, Benny, they had heavy traffic. They had to snake their way through.
I missed that. I wish I had seen that because it's interesting to see how these guys are able to negotiate. As a matter of fact, the last time down in the corner, the 16 car of Tim Steele ran into some traffic, and we see how far Mark Gibson is behind. That's because he had to hit the brakes to keep him running in the back of the 16.
Our AutoZone race recap. Tim Steele is our leader as Perry Tripp takes a spot away. That would be the 7th spot. Steele has led 63 of 75 laps. There have been 5 lead changes, 3 caution flags for 21 laps. Average speed 106.613 miles per hour. Leaders, Tim Steele, Mark Stahl, and Matt Hutter.
There's Matt Hutter, the number 1 car.
Out of the race, Tony Allcard, Bobby Gerhart, Drew White, and Jimmy Kitchens.
Now, the 21 car of Bob Strait is in the same situation that the 1 car Matt Hutter was in just 30, 40 laps ago. He's going around the racetrack. His tires are worn, and he just can't get a good grip.
And these guys are gnawing all over the back of him as they go by Gary Weinbrewer.
Anxious moments. Weinbrewer, the veteran, straight in. Make his way through there. That is the 5th position. You're watching. The 21 car is 5th. The 1 car of Hutter is 6th. And up front, the battle getting hotter and heavier here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Tim Steele trying to hold off, but a half a car length back is Mark Gibson. Can Gibson make the pass? We'll find out when we come back.
Go 65 laps to make it without stopping again.
I don't think they can do it.
I don't think they can either.
Keep coming. Go ahead and get him now. You don't have any lap traffic ahead of you for a while. Come on. Clear. Back out.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we have ARCA action everywhere. Up front, through the middle of the pack, in the back of the pack, and Gibson tries it to the outside wall. Mark, there's a wall up there.
Yes, he almost found that wall. As a matter of fact, we see he lifted from the throttle. Otherwise, he would have. And look at Mark Thompson. He's able to get by Mark Kimmel. And, man, looks like he may be gaining on the leaders. Watch this. Coming off the second corner the last time. Kimmel's car pushed or goes up the hill. Thompson just turns, goes under, and right into that 3rd spot.
Show you how Mark Thompson has made his way toward the front. Back on lap 64, he was 6th. He gradually picked him off one at a time. Now here on lap 83, he's been shown in 3rd position. Has never won an ARCA race. He came just 3 feet shy of getting a win here back in November. He finished 3 feet behind Joe Bessie.
Right here's experience on the racetrack for you guys. The guy who has led the most laps here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in ARCA racing is Tim Steele. He's now over 425 laps at this track, but Mark Gibson has the most starts. He's starting his 22nd race here at Atlanta, so a lot of experience at the lead.
And there you saw Mark stall, and there finally Hutter gets up alongside Straight, but Straight says, no. Here comes Tripp on the outside. They're 3 abreast.
3 wide, and Hutter is the meat in the sandwich. They're able to get by as they scramble back. That is 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right there. The car number 21 being shown in 5th position. That is Don Straight. They make a move by Rick Shepard. Behind him, the 6th, and the car number 6 is in 6th spot.
I'll tell you what, Mark Gibson, the 59 car, the Hardy boys out of Georgia. And right now, that 59 car seems to be getting off the corner a little bit better than 16.
2 Ford Thunderbirds, 2 Ernie Elliott engines, and 2 drivers who desperately want to win.
There's some traffic in front of those lead cars right now. See Shane Doles diving down to the inside.
Traffic forcing the 59 car up a little high, but Mark Thompson, Benny, back in 3rd place. He is coming. He's the black car right of your screen. He is coming up the backstretch.
And you can see
We're in your high line now. Slow traffic, 3 and 4.
Just a mile and a half an hour faster than either of the cars up in front of him. So you're right, he is coming. And there we see Matt Hunter going backwards once again as Harris Domain goes by.
Dave Blaney in the 80 car takes a look. Oh, that was going to have a wreck right there.
Oh, and Blaney trying to avoid the car on the inside, and if he had that fender up another 3 feet, they'd both be sliding sideways. Blaney, a smart move, came back to back out of it, the former World of Outlaws national champion. There's Harris Devane, the 33 car, started back in 14th, currently in 8th spot. Field summary shows you Tim Steele as the leader, Mark Gibson and Mark Thompson, the top three.
Well, guys, Ed Barrier was running 14th, just one lap down. He just took his Ford Thunderbird behind the wall, so it looks like the day may be over for Barrier.
Dave Blaney has made the move past Matt Hutter for position at the 8th spot. Blaney only a second ARCA start. He finished third here back in November of 1995, so with limited super speedway experience, Blaney's been pretty impressive.
And the 21 car comes up. Devane looks on the inside, can't quite make it. Now they caught Mark Stahl, the 32 car, also Norm Benny.
Remember Mark Stahl, who was the leader in the restart, but did not pit for tires. Those tires gave up, and now he has lost the lap leaders and will make his way down pit road.
Best to get through the traffic. Straight does it. Now here's Harris Devane's got a great run off the corner. And Blaney's going to follow it, looks like. Yes, it is.
They will take the 6th and 7th spot away and shuffle back straight. On straight back to car number 21, back into 8th position.
Straight's car, though, is working pretty well down low. He's being able to keep that car down to the inside white line.
Awful lonely on pit road when you're out of sequence on pit stops. They will come in and change all 4 tires with 30 laps to go. The Auto Bell crew for Mark Stahl.
And you can see they're having all kinds of trouble with the right front on that car.
Here's the big question, though, Benny. They went 60 laps on the racetrack, and Tim Steele would have to go 65 laps on the racetrack since he last pitted. Do you think they can do it?
Well, I don't know. They probably... some of them are going to try, that's for sure.
I don't think they can make it. What I was seeing yesterday, talking to some of the engine builders, particularly with the SP2s, which neither one of those cars there have, because they're both Fords. The SP2, the second generation. Steele and Gibson.
There we see that the 66 car just a little less than a second and a half behind these two. Just keep watching this and we'll be able to tell if Mark Thompson is gaining on the leaders. Well, you can tell these guys because they're bumper to bumper.
Mark Thompson, jet pilot, entrepreneur extraordinaire, and ARCA Series veteran. Looking for his first win. He is in 3rd spot. He's the top of your screen. That's the black car. Front 2 cars, black spot.
And that time we can see that Thompson lost almost 2/10 of a second.
Now you should be able to see Thompson coming into your picture. There is Mark Thompson. Midway forward.
Bucky, how about a little spoiler on the next pit stop?
See if the interval does shrink somewhat now that they had some clear racetrack. It was 1.58.
Yeah, 9/10 of a second. Because the front 2 cars passed a couple of cars. And traffic at this racetrack, just like a short track, is very difficult. And the kid, Jeff Streeter, the 20 car, the 17-year-old, takes his car down pit road.
All clear.
Mark Thompson on a tear.
I don't know if we have to use this machine to find out if he's gaining, because it looks like he's right on these guys.
Real good.
Visibly closing. It was 89/100ths of a second now.
31.96. Let's get him.
It has shrunk to about 6 car lengths.
Steel pits now. 32.90. 32.24.
For position, Danny Pardis and Mike Giacchetti. That's for the 10th spot.
The 17 car, Giacchetti takes it away from Jim Bob's car. Jim Bob Gardner owns the 42, he and his wife Judy. And Dan Pardis drives.
Jim and Judy racing. They're trying to reel in the 1 car of Matt Hunter in 9th position. Heavy traffic. That's Norm Benning's car number 84. Thompson now just 2 car lengths back of Gibson, and he has caught Gibson off turn 2.
Don't let him hold you up.
And he has a run. See you, Mark.
Still there. Still there. Clear. Run your high line. Got low cars coming out of 4.
You heard the spotter say to Mark Thompson, don't let him hold you up. Meanwhile, Kyle Petty has caught up from one driver behind the wall.
Ed Berry, you're the only man. You've been closer to Tim Steele all day than anybody else. You're the only guy that looked like you had something for him. You had a little bit of miscue on that first pit stop. What finally put you out, though?
I think we had some kind of ignition problem. You know, we was running real good. We had that miscue there in the pit stop and hoping we could get a lap back, but Tim come in and got fresh tires, and, you know, our car kept getting tighter and tighter and just couldn't, you know, hang on to it at the end. But we just had bad luck. I hope we'll get this monkey off our back, and I want to thank Mean Green, ADT, and my Lauderdale Miami Auto Auction. If it wasn't for them, wouldn't be here. And thank Junie Donlevy.
This guy will be back, and he'll have that monkey off his back when he comes back, guys.
Well, he is one talented race car driver, Ed Berrier. Indeed, if he gets the help, certainly his career will take off. Mark Thompson, 2 car lengths back behind Tim Steele. 2 car lengths behind Thompson, maybe a car length and a half. This Mark Gibson. That's the front 3 cars after 100 of 122 laps. We'll be right back.
Steele's the only former winner in the field, too.
Well, Thompson's got a good run this time.
Come on, Mark, hang on, man. We're in commercial.
Tire, hold him up. That a baby.
Jeff Streeter in a 20 car.
Yep.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, 45-year-old Mark Thompson in the car number 66. The Midway Island sponsorship hangs about a car length behind Tim Steele, our leader. That's the view from Mark Thompson's roof cam.
And Mark Thompson has really been getting a great run off the second corner. Not so good off turn 4, but man, what a run he gets off 2. If he passes Steele, that's where I expect him to see it, is down the backstretch.
Boy, Mark Thompson has spent a lot of his career looking at the back bumper of Tim Steele's car, and there he goes, making a move
There you
on.
go.
Takes a look
Stay with him. Stay with him. Clear. Clear.
Steele's car. Looks like they're having some contact.
Your race
Steele's car gets a little sideways. He gathers it back in. Celebrate in Mark Thompson's pits.
Run your high line through 4.
Bob Bissinger and Don Strait, the co-crew chiefs, you saw him celebrating a moment ago, and Thompson has pulled away by about 5 or 6 car lengths over Mark.
Way to go, Mark. Let's get in a good rhythm. Get in a good, smooth rhythm. I'll give you a left hand.
And there comes the white car, Perry Tripp. He's her 4th place car. Oh, is that a blown engine? The 50 still has to deal with him, or he's still smoking.
He's been on and off pit road.
Run your high line.
The smoke trailing from that car.
The officials just gave him the black flag again as he came by, so Whittemore should be going to the pits.
Perry Tripp really wheeling in the 46 car.
Wow, look at him down on the bottom of the racetrack. And a great move. That's going to let him gain a few car lengths. And Perry Tripp.
Perry Tripp will take the first spot away. He
Don't back off.
by Frank Kimmel.
I didn't even know he was coming.
And Perry Tripp is on a tear. He is reeling them in, but laps are winding down. 15 to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Thompson the leader. Gibson in second. Steele is third. That's the first two right there. The 66 is Thompson. The 59 is Gibson.
And we see that Tim Steele, he was holding these guys up. Had a chassis problem. We see him back. He's almost a full straightaway behind
the wall.
We'll check the 6's car, the 6 car speed as he comes by 173.365. And he is at least 3 miles an hour, almost 3 miles an hour faster than the lead car.
Well, I think these guys went through some traffic that time, and we see that Gibson is not giving up this thing. Mark Gibson, that 59 car.
Mark Gibson was a 1986 Rookie of the Year. He has run now. This is
32-45. Smooth, steady lap.
ARCA starts without a victory. You think he's hungry?
Now we see a battle, and Kimmel losing more spots as Harris Bain comes up trying to take his spot in for the lead. There we go, turn 3.
Mark Gibson on the inside.
Hold your line.
Thompson
Hold your line. Use the traffic. Clear. One more car. He's still looking. Hold your line. Clear.
And Norm Benning's
go ahead and pick it up, Mark. Don't let it get close.
Made Mark Gibson have to give it up.
No, so's he. Just drive it. Do it to him, Mark.
Yeah, that's the pit crew. The spotter, he's all relaxed, but the pit crew said, go, Mark, go, Mark.
12 to go. You can do it.
Mark Thompson has never won an ARCA competition, has he, Ray?
No, he hasn't. He's had a lot of second place finishes, Benny. He finished second here at Atlanta last year. He's also finished second at Charlotte and Talladega and even at Pensacola, but never won.
The next question is, can they make it on fuel? Let's
look at the guys who have won on the speedways. Tim Steele has dominated the last 2 years. The 2-time national champion, leads everyone in ARCA competition with 11 super speedway wins.
There's some traffic. Is that Dan Partis right in front of them? Yes, it is. The 11th place car. Now they're going to the inside of Partis, to the outside, checking the speed. Oh, Thompson don't need this.
Stay high.
They go by the Philip Young car, number 13. They still haven't gotten by Partis. Mark Thompson is 5th. There they go by David Partis. The spotter telling clear. They've cleared the 42 car. 54th career start in ARCA competition for the driver in the car number 66, and he has never gone to victory lane. Let's check in with Kyle.
Well, I'm sitting here with Mark Thompson's crew chief, Bob Batson. What do you guys, can you go the whole way?
Yes, we're going the whole way. We're not stopping. The Midway Island Ford's running real good. We're better on long runs. We don't need a caution flag.
Well, these guys don't need a caution flag, Bill Weber. What about your guys?
Find out. Tony, can you make it on fuel?
No, I don't believe so. I'm just hoping the 66 can, you know.
And now we've got a caution down in 1, a spin in 1.
Norm Benning in car number 84 slams into the wall in turn number 1, but everybody is able to miss him.
Wow, now that will totally change the complexion. You heard Tony Gibson, Mark's brother, say to Bill Weber they could not make it on fuel, so a huge break for Mark Gibson as the caution is given to Mark Thompson, leader. That's the reason for the caution flag for the 4th time today. Norm Bennings, car number 84, and our spotter saying they heard something go boom down there, so we're speculating now that he may have cut a tire.
There we see the crash in progress as he goes up, bang, he hits the wall. Well, it had to be something happened because we saw Tony Gibson and all the crew turn away from the interview and look to the front straightaway, so they heard the noise, and I heard the noise sound like a blown engine. There we see the marks where Norm Benning crossed the car up, slammed on the brakes, and slid into turn 1 wall.
So 4th caution flag today. Lap 114.
Now they need to hurry up and get this car off the racetrack because we need a restart.
That was the view that Frank Kimmel had, as now the safety crews are over there to Norm Benning, and they will help extricate Norm.
Just 7 laps to go here, guys, so the big question becomes, do they need fuel now that they've run under caution, Benny? Do you take the chance of pitting?
Well, the guys that are on the tail end of the lead lap, like Mike Giacchetti and the 46 car, they will certainly pit and try to get some fresh tires on in case they restart this race. The question is, the leaders, Bill Weber, what do you think they're going to do?
They're talking about it. Right now they're concerned because the 66 car got around the pace car. Tony Gibson is here on the wall talking to his driver. You going to come in?
Yeah, we're going to come in 4 tires and gas.
And you saw the 66 car went around the pace.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is there. I mean, they're going to have to penalize him or something. So we're going to come in, take on 4 tires and fuel, and hopefully have something for him at the end. We've just been coasting right now, so let's just see. You know about Tim Steele. He don't show what he's got till the end.
I know about your brother, Norm Benning, climbing out of his car. Is he excited right now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, we're out right now.
Okay, he's out of gas. You just heard it. You just got the word. He is. Mark Gibson is out of gas. I don't think the 16 or the 1 could have made it either. The 16 has a board down in their pit. Said they'd run out at 1:18, and Johnny Allen just smiled when I asked him if he could make the finish. He goes, "I'll tell you after the race."
I got to wonder if Mark Gibson's going to make it back. He is coasting down, and he may not make it back. His car is barely rolling on the apron. The 59 car barely rolling on the apron down out of turn 4, and the 66 car of Mark Thompson is headed down pit road. Let's go to Kyle Petty.
There was a lot of discussion here on whether these guys were going to come in and change tires. Like they said, they run better on longer runs on older tires, but they would have been a set and duck. They did discuss only putting 1 can of fuel in. No chassis adjustments, 4 tires, and get back out there and have the stop of their life. That's what they talked about before they went across the wall.
And in the inset, what a tough break. Mark Gibson's car barely rolling now. His crew is running, sprinting up pit road as you watch Mark Gibson's car come off. And now, there's
no. That's Bob Schacht. Bob Schacht on the inside there helping push Mark Gibson. Lots of people coming to help him.
Everyone knows. I mean, Mark Gibson is so well liked by the competitors. He's been at this now for about 13 years and has never won. It has come so close, and the car completely out of fuel. You heard Tony Gibson talking to Bill Weber, and just as Tony was talking, you hear Mark say we're out of gas.
There's a gas can, so they finally made it to a... Now can they get it started? Where's the ether?
Yeah, but the thing is, Benny, that's not Mark Gibson's pit stall.
Oh, that's right. It's not his pit stall. That is a penalty.
They're trying to get it fired, and now the crew down trying to help push the car to get it fired. ARCA officials down on pit road talking. Some of the other cars looking back and forth. So the 66 car has been on pit road.
Even if they do get him to the pit stall here, guys, he's going to lose a lap because the field is coming out of turn 4.
They're trying to push him down pit road. The car is not refired. And the field coming off turn 4. What a tough break. What a disastrous break for Mark Gibson. Thought maybe the caution flag would be a help. Here's the car number 21 in the pits, making his pit stop. Bob Strait, Larry LeMay, and the rest of the Jack Boucher crew going to work on that car. And just rolling, coasting by. As other cars come in, the 88 Jimmy McCune is there, the 97 of Shane Doles.
They finally got some ether up there, and it did start. Now it's stalled again, it appears.
The car is still rolling. Now the thing is, once he gets down to his pits, I'm not sure anyone's going to be there to work on the car. They all ran up pit road. Now here is Tony Gibson and company. What's left of their pit crew down there, and right in front of you, Bill.
Well, this is heartbreaking down here. They're shoving the gas can in. They're going to put fuel in there. He's trying to fire the car. Can't get it to fire. Can't get it to fire. Still sitting here looking for the ether. Now they're back up there trying to get it to fire. He's working on it. He's got it. Let's see. Can he keep it running? Not yet. Pushing the car. This is just destroying these guys. This is hard to watch. Mark Gibson being pushed down pit road. Can't get it to fire. Man, oh man.
Unbelievable, Bill, that this young man has been trying for 13 years to win an ARCA race, his 120th start. And you heard Tony say, we've just been riding. And now the car trying to fire does not fire and comes to it. It's still rolling down pit road, but the wreckers are there to give it an assist. There's the car number 84, Norm Benning, that brought out the caution flag. Now Mark Gibson's car has refired. He is being shown a lap down as the field has come by, and now he is back on the racetrack. Back with the restart and the final laps of the ARCA APCO EasyCare 300 after this. Oh, man. What a break. Jeez.
So how many tires did Devane change?
Did he come in? He did come in.
Well, he'd have been posted the leader last time by, and then he came in, so he'll be...
Right now, Gicchetti's the leader.
They're showing Mike Gichetti.
Well, no, that was last lap by. The leader should be the 80. Oh, okay. Well, shoot, 17 is up there, isn't it? But we're in the 25 lap rule, so only the lead lap cars will be outside.
You have a 10 lap rule?
No, I do not.
No. Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia, working the 4th caution flag today. Bill Weber, Kyle Petty, Ray Dunlap, Benny Parsons, yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you live ARCA action under sun-drenched skies here at Hampton, Georgia. A couple of cars still trailing some smoke. Dill Whittemore's had some smoke out of his car as Hank Wetzel, the ARCA flagman, gives the signal 1 to go. There's Gary Weinbrewer's car. And Benny, there will be a 2-lap sprint when they get the flag.
And right now, Mike Gichetti is in the lead. I would not want to bet against the Tim Steele car, but he's back in 3rd spot. There's the leader of the race, the blue number 17, the 33 is 2nd, and Tim Steele is the 3rd place car.
Benny, I was talking to Mike earlier today, and he was out signing autographs this week for his sponsor, Hughes Supply. And a gentleman came up to him and he said, "Would you sign an autograph for my son? His name's Muwata." And Mike says, "Are you kidding me? Muwata? What is that?" He said, "It's Swahili." He said, "Well, what does that mean?" He said, "It's the leader." So Mike has named his race car Muwata because he led here last year in that same car. And believe it or not, a year ago in March, he didn't even make the field here for this race. So what a change for Mike Gichetti.
Now they put Muwata on the dashboard to the right side of Mike. He said, maybe that'll bring us luck. The young man who he met works for Hughes Supply, which of course is his sponsor. Remember in Daytona, he had that poo-poo, that little piece of his son's blanket he had in his pocket for luck. He said, "I got the poo-poo with me here in Atlanta. Maybe my son's blanket, me and old Muwata will go to victory lane." Well, we'll find out in about 3 laps. We'll get set for a restart here on lap 121. 4th caution flag lasted 6 laps, and it was a heartbreaker for Mark Gibson.
I mean, this is going to be something else. This is going to be something to behold right here, folks. Hang on. Get strapped in because this is going to be something.
And Steele's car was terrible in the last segment. Can he come on strong like he has in the past?
They scramble at the start. Mike Gichetti got jumped. Whoa!
And did you see Thompson go in there and ricochet off Gichetti?
Clear low, go.
John, you're clear low. Let him know when the car's in there now.
Hustle up, you got under you. Now.
And Tim Steele.
Still there.
The lead.
Still there. Clear.
And here comes Thompson. White flag.
Final lap in Atlanta. Mark Thompson.
Get him. Don't let him go.
That's Mark Thompson's spotter saying, get him, Mark. 2 car lengths behind Tim Steele.
Keep digging. Buried in there, boss. Let's get him.
There's a Blaney car, the 80 of the traffic. And Thompson is not going to be able to do it.
Less than a 1/4 of a mile from the checkered flag. It'll be Steele taking the win. Thompson in 2nd. And Perry Tripp, what a chance to take 3rd spot. Mark Thompson pulls alongside to congratulate Tim Steele, and the young man who's defending a 2-time ARCA Series champion had that abysmal start in Daytona, finishing 38. Makes up for it here in Atlanta.
That's why they call him the man of steel there, Jerry. Boy, oh boy, what a finish.
And the 21 and 6, or the car number 6 that was come. Watch the 6 car. The 46 car down on the inside. Watch Perry Tripp make a move between those cars.
He probably thought he was racing the 21 car, but in fact he was not. The 21 car was a lap in front of him. The 46 car now we're they were racing for that spot, the third spot.
Well, by far, that's Perry Tripp's best finish here at Atlanta, no question about that. He had a 20th and a 12th place finish last year here.
Well, they've been coming to Atlanta since 1984, and no driver has ever won more than twice at Atlanta Motor Speedway in ARCA competition. That changes as of today because 29-year-old Tim Steele picks up his third career win at Atlanta Motor Speedway and his first win of the 1997 season. Sort of like what happened a year ago. He didn't win until he got to Atlanta. He picked up his first win and went on to 11 victories in 1996 and dominating the ARCA point standings.
Guy likes to play hurt. Last year he had kidney stones. This year he's coming back from broken ribs in Daytona.
What a scramble at the finish. Exciting ARCA action. Steele's the winner.
He's almost ready to get out of that thing. Yeah.
Let's go down to Bill Weber.
And a big smile from Tim Steele, and he climbs from his car in a familiar position in victory lane. Once again, you don't do anything the easy way.
Man, I'll tell you what, we got past there, and I knew it was going to be close if we were going to make it in gas, and Mark and those guys got Mark, and I guess Mark and Mark got by me, and figured, well, we better just ride. They're going to run out of gas, and I'm probably going to too, so I just slowed up, and then the caution comes out, and I'll tell you what, these are my guys. They've been practicing pit stops and telling me how good they've been doing, and they've been doing a hell of a job for me. They won the race for me.
Tell me about that last restart, Tim. That was wild, to say the least.
Yeah, that was a little wild there. On the 17 car, I think he might have missed a gear or something, and you're not supposed to pass on the inside before then. And here we go, 3-4 wide, and old Gator just pulled through for us. This is an awesome win for us.
So when those guys went by you, you didn't have it to catch back up?
Well, I could have rode there with them, but if it was going to go green the rest of the way, I was riding around saving fuel. I figured they were going to run out, and I knew it was going to be close for us. And it was one of those deals. But the caution came out. We needed the caution, and man, I love those shootouts.
I know this is a big win for you, but you have a big week coming up. You're going to go to Texas with your stuff and test, and then if that works out, you're going to try and make the Winston Cup race at Texas.
Yeah, we're going to go to Texas and see how things go. We just, wherever we go to Winston Cup race, we want to be ready. We've got a good crew, but, it's a whole new system. We got to go and learn, and, we're just going to go there and do the best we can, and we just got to learn how to qualify. I think our race setups, will be all right, and then I can handle the long races and stuff. We just got to get our qualifying down, and we worked on that this weekend, and we got beat by a little bit, but I guess we won the more important one.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tomorrow is the Steele 300, but today it's Tim Steele in victory lane to Kyle Petty.
I'm sitting here at the gas pumps with Mark Thompson. You drove the greatest race I probably have ever seen you drive. You run an incredible race. You run him down there on old tires. Your car seemed to be better on old tires. You didn't need that last caution.
I didn't need the last caution. We were set up for long green runs. We were praying they'd run green to the end. We had a pretty bad push on old tires, but it wasn't as bad as everybody else's. We put on some short run tires right there at the very end, and on the restart, I got kind of sandwiched between those two sort of lap cars or whatever. They both hit me on both sides and kind of pinched us up and allowed Tim to get under us. And then I had trouble getting my momentum back to get him back, but it was a good race.
It was a great race standing in the pits. Let me tell you, if you've ever got a doubt that your crew is not behind you, you go home and watch this race on TV and watch them jump up and down on those pit boxes and everything. When Tim's car seemed to go away there when you caught him late in the race and you got up under him going into turn 3, his car jumped a little sideways and you just checked out on him. Was his car getting looser?
I think actually his car was just a little bit tight or something. He was checking up pretty hard in the corners, and I'd try to get under him, and he'd try to, block down a little bit low, and we maybe rubbed him just a little bit down there in the bottom of 1 and 2, and I kind of enjoyed that.
That's allowed in racing, man. Congratulations. Back to you guys up there.
Mark Thompson finishes second as Tim Steele's in victory lane. When we come back, our professor, Benny Parsons, will take a closer look at that restart, what you might call a restart, that wild scramble to the green flag with 2 laps to go. We'll be right back.
All right. Hang on just one second.
Who's that, BP?
There, that car. No, Thompson's a 4th place car. This is the 4th place car.
What if you draw arrows?
Will be in operation in November when we come back here to the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
There's the 17. That's Thompson.
On this layout of this particular racetrack here in Atlanta. The APCO EasyCare folks are down with Charles Head in Victory Lane, where the presentations will take place of all the awards and trophies. Let's go down to Charles Head with Tim Steele. Take it away, Charles. We're down in Victory Lane right now with a victorious Tim Steele.
That's unreal.
A great race for the band. Certainly a great race for you and the folks that get died. Yeah, well, you know, like I told my crew after that stuff, when you come in and you point back and beat everybody else in one of the races, you know, they've done a hell of a job.
Yeah, that's a good shot there.
That's good.
Out there first. And then, you know, the rest of us being the shootouts like that are great. But come on top. Well, you had a lot of pressure toward the end of the race from the two marks, both Gibson and Thompson. Yet you were able in those last couple of 3 laps to come back home victorious. And just another Super Speedway win for Tim Steele. Yeah, you know.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway under sun-drenched skies, a beautiful day for racing. The Victory Lane celebrations continue for Tim Steele, who won it, but what a wild scramble on the restart with 2 laps to go. Benny?
You know, this was something else. They're ready to go. Here's the leader of the race. That's Mike Giacchetti. And that's the 33 car, the 16 car, and back there, that's Thompson, the 4th place car. That's the leaders as they come off the corner. Now watch as they come off. The 17 missed a shift, and Harris Devane goes to the inside. Looks like he has a clear lead. Thompson dives right in the middle of those cars. Boom, boom. It looks like Tim Steele is out of it, but meanwhile, these guys have backed off the gas. Steele somehow gets to the bottom of the racetrack, and boom, goes from about 4th spot to the lead in one corner. And watch from the onboard camera of Tim Steele. There we see the 33 car. And here the 17 misses the shift. He wants to go to the outside. Steele does, but he can't get to the outside because Giacchetti's there. Watch Thompson, boom, to the inside. He gets those cars out of the way. Now the 33 moves up the racetrack and leaves the bottom lane open. You could drive a Greyhound through there.
It looked like Tim Steele just buried his foot in the throttle and made the move down in turn 1. But the biggest disappointment of the day may be with Mark Gibson, and I think Bill is caught up with him.
Well, it's a pair of disappointed guys down here. Mark Gibson and his brother Tony talking it over, and lean in here for a second. I don't know what to say to you.
You know, it just isn't meant to be. You know, we knew we were close on gas, but we didn't have any choice. If we'd have come in, we'd have been a lap down. You know, it just ran out right there. I mean, just getting into 3 and it wouldn't pick up the gas. You know, Bob Shadd, I want to thank him. You know, he gassed the car for me, tried to get me going. And that's the way racing is. You know, I'm disappointed, but I'm not ashamed. We had a good run today, and the pit crew got me in and out. You know, Jason and the boys from the 11 car, Brevo 9, came over and changed tires for me, and man, they do an awesome job. We changed 4 tires and beat everybody but 1 car out of the pits. So, you know, pit crew did as much as I did today, and I just want to thank them and thank the sponsors. Charles Hardy helped me out, Metrac, State Farm. We had a good run. You know, I thought we had the car to beat. I was sitting there riding behind Steele, and I was overheating a little bit, so You went by him.
Nah, he just, you know, I could run him back down when I wanted to. I knew his tires would give up, and I was a little tied up off the corner, and then Mark Thompson came, and he kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting him there. And he got by, and then I could run him down and got by him that one time, and slow traffic got in the way. So that's just the way it is, you know. But hey, we had a good run. I don't even know where we finished, but everybody knows we were fast, and you know, I hope we can pick a sponsor up. If we don't, I don't know what's going to happen after this. Briggs Cunningham and Kerry Sheriff put a lot of money in this deal, and just hopefully we can get a sponsor and keep going. You know, we want to go to Charlotte and Pocono and all the rest of the races. So that's just the way it goes.
Unofficially, I believe you're 9th. At any point, Mark, did you think this was going to be the day?
Yeah, I did. I mean, you know, once we got to pit stop and I got out behind Tim and we could run with him when we kind of ran off from everybody, I said, you know, he's going to use it. He was real loose all day. And so I just figured to let him use his tires up there and see what we could have for me. And I called on Tony there. I was trying to see how many laps were gone. And I called on, I said, can we make it to the end? He said, no, we're going to be a couple short. So I said, well, just holler real loud when you want me to pit. I said, because the radios are, I guess my radio was going a little low or something. But Yeah, I thought we had it. You know, I don't know if I could outrun Tim on new tires, but I could have run with him on new tires. Okay, Mark Gibson still sits in his car, disappointed, back up top.
No reason to hang his head. A gallant effort. When we come back, Kyle Petty will talk to the drivers who finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th right there. And how about this drive for Mark Thompson? Talk about threading the needle. Here is the hole that Mark Thompson squeezed through just moments ago on the restart to finish 2nd. Back with more from Atlanta Motor Speedway in a moment.
Enjoy the rest of this great doubleheader that we'll have to bring to you. 2 more great days left at the 10th field. And just one, the APCO EasyCare 300.
All right. All right. Our Speed World coverage of the ARCA APCO EasyCare 300 has been brought to you by Valvoline Durablend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil, and by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. Kyle Petty is caught up with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place finishers. Kyle?
Well, I was standing here with Perry Tripp and Frank Kimmel, and just like you said before we went to break, Harris Devane bumps into everybody going into turn 1 down there. He come over here and rooted in, so I got 3rd, 4th, and 5th standing here. First, I'm going to talk to Perry. You had a great run out there today. Did your car work good all day? Was it better on long runs, better on short runs? Which way?
Yeah, Kyle, our car was great today. First of all, I want to say hi to my kids back home and my mom and dad and all the guys that helped me get this car together. Put it together in 21 days, and it was just remarkable. It ran so well, and the longer we ran, the better it did, and we were just thrilled to death, and want to thank WW Transport for helping us out, and TWI.
Well, congratulations, man. I'm talking over here to Frank. You guys were bumping into each other before we started here. Wait a minute.
I want to say one more thing. I want to thank General Motors for helping me with the engine, and Kenny Bingham up there in North Carolina.
If you had one of them Bingham motors, you need to move over out of the way. You had the good stuff. I need that stuff. All right, now I got Frank Kimmel right here. You come home 4th. Not a scratch on your car, but there's a couple little places on there. You guys, it got a little hairy there on the last lap. What'd you see?
Yeah, that's really amazing. You race with Harris and Perry all day and don't come out with a scratch. It's a pretty good day, you know, but I'll tell you what, the Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet ran great. We just wasn't very good on that long run, and we got a really bad push, and it put us back in the pack, and just couldn't really make up for it. But on new tires, it was just about as good as anybody on a racetrack.
Okay, man. Now let's go to Harris here. Harris here was up. You led for a little bit there, and all of a sudden they come by you on both sides, but you ping-ponged off a couple people. What did you see from where you were sitting?
Well, we made a bad call in the pits. We didn't change tires. We had gassed only, and I think we had a lot of buildup on the tires, and went in turn 1, and it pushed up terrible. So we made a bad call in the pits, but we ended up 5th, and I want to thank the Georgia Pennant Commission for coming on, and Industrial Pipe Supply out of Atlanta. And that's the best run we ever had in Atlanta, and with 2 laps to go being 2nd, I felt good about it. And I didn't want to come in, you know, just how it is, but we should have took tires, but that's hindsight now.
Hey, great run anyhow, guys. You all 3 of you guys, congratulations, every one of you. Up to you guys in the tower.
Well, the Peanut Farmer finishes 5th. Take a look at our unofficial results, guys. What a finish. What a wild scramble at the end.
Yeah, and we see this top 6 cars, and, you know, they talk about, everyone is raving about how Bob Strait and Jack Bowser, they think that team is going to be on the short tracks in ARCA competition this year, and a good finish today in 7th spot.
6 cars in the lead, lap 16 through 30 to see where your favorite drivers finished. Rick Shepard coming back from the disappointment in Daytona to finish 18th spot. Dill Whittemore, who had trouble with the car smoking off and on all day, finished back in 27th.
You know, guys, whenever Mark Thompson made that bonsai move through there and hit Mike Cicchetti, I think it may have cut down a tire on car number 17, but they did end up staying in the lead lap, finished 6th today.
Jimmy Kitchens, a rookie driver, had trouble early on, brought up the 2nd caution flag. It's a 34th place finish. Of course, our Atlanta coverage tomorrow, the NASCAR Busch Series Steel Power Tools 300 at live at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Tim Bender on the pole for our ESPN2 live coverage. NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's last 60 minutes of practice. Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. NASCAR today. Then our live flag-to-flag coverage. Jack Root will be here. Bob Jenkins, all our crew on ABC, the NASCAR Winston Cup Prime Star 500. For Kyle Petty, Bill Weber, Ray Dunlap, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch, congratulating Tim Steele on his victory. It's been a presentation of the worldwide leader in sports. Glory Days coming up next. Thank you, Bob.
We're going to have a... we're doing facts in the morning at 9. Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Make sure you see Dennis. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Moata. That's what they say when you get thirsty. I want Moata.
Moata. Swahili from thirsty.
That's right. Yes, yes, yeah, which means leader. What was it they always used to say was?
I'll tee him up and set it up to the booth. They'll talk about how when you come to Atlanta.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And
yeah.
we're talking about Winston Cup qualifying, right?
Right. And what I'll say is, I said when you come to Atlanta, there are two things you're guaranteed of: plenty of excitement and a lot of surprises. Usually that happens.
What am I going to say?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say usually that happens on Sunday, but we got an early dose of it here on Friday, and I'll lead up to you guys.
All right. Okay. Turn my.
I mean, I have not seen a lineup or anything else, so I
haven't either, but that's all right. We'll wing it.
What about?
Can you put it in a monitor so they can see the top 25?
Is somebody second? I mean, who's second? Anybody know?
We can talk about Trickle and Waltrip, though. Both those guys are in the top 5, and we haven't seen that for a long time.
Waltrip is third, right?
Waltrip and Trickle are 3rd and 4th. Yeah, I was going to mention so many surprises in the top 10. If you can just put the top 10 up, I think there were 7 surprises in the top 10.
I'll talk about Robbie, and then I'll send it up to you guys.
All right.
But if you think not only was that a big surprise, but if you look back through the top 10, there were plenty of them.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Can we see the top 10, Chevy, or
Winston Cup qualifying? It probably will for me. I'm sorry to say. I will find out from executive field producer Dan Fromm here and let you know. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I will be late for that for sure. Okay. Yes, thank you. And I get the overnight shift.
Is this for air tonight?
Gary Gerald isn't in town, is he?
Yes.
I may tee Benny up about cars that didn't qualify, like the 3 and the 2, and then say, Benny, we saw some cars slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I do a surprise, I might throw in the weather then right off the top. The first surprise is the weather. It was cold here like it normally is when we come to Atlanta, but it turned out to be a beautiful afternoon unless you were trying to qualify a race car. Does that work for you upstairs?
What do you...
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
That was great.
Fine.
Thank you. I think so. I love this part. Well, when you come to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, there are always two things you can definitely count on: excitement and surprises. Usually that's just Sunday, but we got a double dose here on Friday. First of all, the weather was a big surprise. Not in the morning when it was cold like it usually is when we come here in March, but in the afternoon it turned out to be a beautiful day, unless you were trying to qualify a Winston Cup car. A big dramatic change in the weather between what we had in the morning and what the Cup cars qualified in during the afternoon. The surprise and the excitement was delivered by Robbie Gordon. He won his first Winston Cup pole here at Atlanta, but it's his second pole for this track. He won an ARCA pole here about 7 years ago. He was pretty surprised and pretty excited, as you've already heard. But there were more surprises, even deeper in the top 10. Let's go up top to Benny Parsons, to Jerry Punch, and Ray Dunlap. Okay, he wants it shorter, I'm sure. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'll do the weather and Robbie, and I'll speed it up. Yeah, I hate that part, too. Well, two things you can always count on when you come to Atlanta: excitement and surprises. And usually that's on Sunday, but we got a double dose here on Friday. The first surprise was the weather. Cold in the morning, but beautiful in the afternoon, unless you were trying to qualify a Winston Cup car. Dramatic change between when the cars practiced and when they qualified. The excitement was provided by Robbie Gordon. He grabbed his first Winston Cup pole here, and he was extremely thrilled about it. But he's not the only surprise in the top 10. For some other surprises, let's go up top to Dr. Jerry Punch, Benny Parsons, and Ray Dunlap.
Thanks, Bill. At least 7 of the top 10 had to be a surprise. I mean, Benny, when you look at row 2, I mean, my goodness, Darrell Waltrip and Dick Trickle will start side by side.
I didn't know that. I did know that. Darrell Waltrip, and he is excited. He is so excited. And Dick Trickle, you're right. Both guys really and truly at the twilight of their careers, but something to rave about here in Atlanta today.
Ray, row 3, Hut Strickland and Lake Speed.
Well, you're right, Jerry. I'm very surprised at some of the guys that are in the top 10, but I'm even more surprised at some of the guys that aren't in the top 10. Dale Earnhardt qualifying 43rd in first round. They've got to step up that program.
And also missing the top 25 was Rusty Wallace. And Benny, a lot of concern over the heat that Bill talked about. We saw some cars slipping and sliding.
Yeah, we really did. And the weather was exactly the cause for this. They practiced this morning. It was probably 40, 45 degrees. It was gorgeous this afternoon, and the cars were just simply not ready for that heat and this race on this racetrack.
And the weather changes altered the qualifying and certainly altered the top 25. But it should be a wild scramble come Sunday, Bill.
Well, Doc, the weather could be another surprise here on Sunday. Showers are in the forecast, but we're optimistic we'll get the Prime Star 500 in. Out of the 75 races they've run here at Atlanta, only 13 times has the winner started outside the top 10. The guy that's come from deepest in the field to win this race is the guy that qualified 43rd, Dale Earnhardt, back in 1980. It could be a wild one here in second round qualifying and an exciting race on Sunday. Back to you.
Watch practice a little bit, Jerry.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to run down to little doctor's room. Thank you.
Okay, now, Neil? Yeah, I want to do 2 stand-ups, and now I will consult my executive assistants for this. As soon as these 2 people tell me what to say, I'll be ready. Okay, thank you.
qualifying effort. Here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on Goodie's pole there. On the pole, 29, 471, 29, 471, 185, 916. And on the Speedway now is the America, folks. On number 17, he is third fastest.
Who was that talking to me? Get him out of there. I was going to say it was excellent. Okay. I didn't say it was as good as you. Okay, here we go. Charlotte, your opening stand-up. The Winston Cup cars rolled into the Atlanta Motor Speedway at 6 a.m. on Friday morning. Okay, hang on. Todd Perry was going to walk through our shot. Once more. Okay. Here we go, in 3. The Winston Cup cars rolled into the Atlanta Motor Speedway on Friday morning, the beginning of another race weekend, the focus on a new event. For Rusty Wallace, it was an opportunity to put the Richmond race behind him, a race that he won last Sunday, but did not celebrate until Monday. And I'll do that again for you, Charlotte, a little bit better, hopefully. The Winston Cup cars rolled into the Atlanta Motor Speedway at 6 a.m. on once more, sorry. The Winston Cup cars rolled into the Atlanta Motor Speedway at 6 a.m. on Friday morning, the beginning of another weekend, the focus on a new race. But for Rusty Wallace, it was time to put the Richmond race behind him, a race that he won last Sunday, but didn't celebrate until Monday. Yeah, I'm going to change locations here real quick. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, okay. This will be me in the 3 car. Right. I heard somebody mutter something there. No, no, here, come on back up here. We can shoot back this way. Brad, come on up here. Okay, I'll be right with you. Oh, okay, we're going to lose our car. Maybe it'll come back to us. Here we go. I'm ready if you're ready. Me and them. Oh, okay. Huh? 33? 43rd, yeah. We can walk with it. No, we probably can't. We can do it by the rig. Where are you going? I can walk with it. Can you walk with it, Brad? Okay, they're going the other way. I'll do it with the rig in the background. Okay. Come on over here. Can you see this good wrench here, Brad? I know. Oh, yeah. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. So it was a disappointing day here at Atlanta for Steve Park and for Dale Earnhardt, the defending champion of this race. But in the last 10 races here at Atlanta, there have been 8 different winners. The only 2 drivers to successfully repeat, Bill Elliott in 1992 and Earnhardt, who won the fall race in 95 and the spring race in 96. But no driver has successfully defended winning the spring race since Cale Yarborough did it in 68 and 69. That's something Dale Earnhardt would desperately like to do here on Sunday. Back to you. Did somebody wreck? Very quiet out there. Okay, we'll do another one here for you if you're happy, if it's okay. Oh, they are? Okay, we can. Okay, do you want one with the car in the background? If they're happy, then we'll stop. Let's not push it. Okay, they say they're happy. Okay, all right, thank you all very much, especially you guys in the truck. Appreciate that. All right.
They don't know what the hell they're talking about.
You're still on the satellite, Dan. Charlotte, Dan Fromm has some words of advice for you. Well, never mind. Okay. Oh.